We are going to get to a full Week 1 preview, including the latest injury report, some keys to the game, and get you ready for Russell Wilson's return to Seattle. But first, our sub battle with our Seahawks channel here at Chat Sports is tightening up a little bit here. I want to put him in the dirt before kickoff. Help me do that by clicking that sub button. Let's win this battle and then win the war on the gridiron. It is game day, Broncos country. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Every other NFL team had their fun on Sunday and on Thursday, but now it is Broncos fans' turn to watch some meaningful football, and it's probably the most storyline game of the week. Russell Wilson returning to Seattle. The Broncos open up as 7-point favorites. I'm going to tell you guys right now, pound that money line. Skip the money line. Take it right, -7 right there. But we've got a good preview for you guys. We're going to go over 5 keys to the game. But let's start the show off by looking at the injury reports for both teams. So Josey Jewell had a calf injury pop up during practice over the week. He is out for Monday night. That means it's going to be Alex Singleton starting alongside Jonas Griffith. So the Broncos lose one starting linebacker in Jewell, but it is good to see them get another starting linebacker in Griffith back. Randy Gregory, KJ Hamler, and Billy Turner are all questionable. I am predicting that they will all test their respective injuries during warm-ups, go through some extreme workouts on the field, talk to their coaches, and then make a decision. If I had to predict, though, I think Randy Gregory and KJ Hamler will play, but limited snaps, sort of on a pitch count. I think Billy Turner is probably the least likely of the 3 to play, but maybe I'll jinx it here. All right, on the Seahawks side of things now, they have 5 players on their injury report. Handful of them not going to play on Monday night. Alton Robinson, a backup linebacker, he is out. Tyler Ott, their long snapper, he had his shoulder pop out of practice last week. He is out for this week. And we saw yesterday, if you watch the Bengals-Steelers game, it's not good if you are missing your starting long snapper, so keep an eye on that. Might make life difficult for special teams over there. Artie Burns, a backup corner. He with a groin injury is doubtful. Kenneth Walker, he's coming off that sports hernia injury, the rookie out of Michigan State, questionable. And then their starting left guard, Damian Lewis, he is questionable with a knee injury. So those are some storylines and things to keep an eye on. If Lewis is unable to go, that is a big missing piece on their starting front 5. Okay, now that we got the injury stuff out of the way, let's get to some keys to the game. My first key to the game is get Russell Wilson comfortable early on. This is going to be a very emotional game. I don't care if Russell Wilson says it's not going to be, it is, okay? And the Seahawks fans, they're going to be bringing it, because even if Russ was their saving Christ for nearly a decade, he is the opposing quarterback this week. And there are some Seahawks fans, which I would love to bring up some receipts, who were like back in February and March, Russ is never going to get traded. Stop talking about this. And now it's, well, we don't even want Russ anymore. He's washed. The best part of his game is his mobility, and that's behind him this day and age. But what do I mean by getting Russ comfortable? Don't overreach on the first couple of plays. Hackett chose to sit all the starters during preseason. Don't come out in the first play, as boring as I sound right now, and run 4 verts, get an incomplete pass, get the crowd into it, put yourself in a 3rd and long, 3 and out, and all of a sudden the nest is rocking. No, take some easier plays, feed Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, move the sticks, move the chains. You don't have to score a touchdown on your first play. Get Russell Wilson comfortable early on in this offense. Don't bite off more than you can chew, and all of a sudden start feeding momentum to the Seahawks fans. All right, next key to the game. Attack the rookie DBs. This Seahawks team is having a complete turnover from last season in a lot of ways, especially, of course, at the quarterback position. But they also went young at the defensive back position. And when you've got Russell Wilson and you paid him and you extended him all that money, you might as well get your money's worth. And you might as well attack this Seahawks secondary right here, which players like Tariq Woolen, a rookie corner, Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati. You've got some younger guys. Now, they've got a good safety room between Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, but ultimately, I want to see Russell Wilson, Courtland Sutton, and Jerry Jeudy, not in the first play, but you went out and traded for Russell Wilson because of his arm, right? So now it's time to let these receivers really grow and flourish with Russell Wilson. So as the game progresses, and as you get into the second, third, and fourth quarters, really start to hone in on those rookies on the outside corner spots and pick on them. All right, we'll get to more keys to the game in just a moment, but predict the score for me. It is not too late to get your score predictions in. Here's my final score prediction. I've kind of floated around the 31-10 range. I think 31 might be too high for week one. You might see the Broncos struggle out of the gates because they didn't play much in the preseason, and that's fine. I've got no issue with that. So give me Denver 27, Seattle 10. The under hits, and the Broncos cover by a mile. Next key to the game. Speaking of Seahawks rookies, they've got two bookend tackles that are fresh out of college, okay? Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross. Both were some of their top picks in this past draft class, thanks in part to the Russell Wilson trade, but at the end of the day, they are rookie tackles. It is a little bit different when you are Abraham Lucas from Washington State and you're guarding edge rushers out of Cal, and then there's Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory lined up opposite of you. Put some pressure on these players here. Throw some new looks and some stunts their way. Confuse them. Make them look one way and then have a delayed edge rusher or have a delayed corner blitz. Make life difficult for them. If Randy Gregory is unable to go, it's likely going to be Baron Browning stepping up next, but Nick Bonito will be there as well. I want to see a big game from Gregory, Chubb, and the new DC Evero because they've got to scheme this in. How can we capitalize on two rookie tackles? Bradley Chubb is entering probably the biggest season so far in a Broncos uniform. Coming off a year where he only played in 7 games and had 0 sacks, and he's also entering a contract season. Start your season on a good note, right? When you get to go up against a rookie tackle, you should feast. You should flourish. I would love to see that out of Bradley Chubb this Monday night. I would also love to see you guys get started with our sportsbook partner. BetUS has an awesome deal for Broncos country. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Broncos125, the fine folks at BetUS are going to serve you an additional 125% deposit bonus. I got my Broncos -6 pick in weeks ago. -7 doesn't change a thing. There is no way Geno Smith and company keep this game close. Hammer it. I also like the under. Make your picks, though, at BetUS by going to chatsports.com/bet with promo code Broncos125. My next key to the game, probably should have had this up a little earlier, but it's protect Russell Wilson. A lot of rumors and stories and nuggets came out over the last week or so about the division between Russ and the Seahawks. And one of the biggest pillars of that division was the amount of black and blues Russell Wilson had on his body from all of the hits he took. So it's going to be up to this front five right here. If Calvin Anderson has to start in Billy Turner's spot, I'm not all that concerned with it. I thought Anderson held his own in the preseason. He definitely didn't look like someone who ran away with the starting job. But Garrett Bowles, your starting left tackle, the cornerstone of this offensive line, I want to see him have a good game because he's going to be facing a familiar face along with the other interior offensive lineman in Shelby Harris, right? Harris coming over in that trade with Russell Wilson. There are some good playmakers on this Seahawks defense, believe it or not. I like Poona Ford. I like Shelby Harris. And then there are some other guys, and we'll look at in a little bit here, like, for example, Darrell Taylor, a second-round pick for Seattle last season, had 6.5 sacks as a rookie. He works as an outside linebacker, sort of that edge rusher, kind of their Bradley Chubb, if you will. Keep an eye on Darrell Taylor. He's probably their best quarterback seeker, and I'm going to be keeping my eye close on him as this game progresses. Now, I've given you guys 4 keys to the game so far, but I want to know what yours is, right? I'll shut up for a second, let you guys get in the comment section, and tell me what you think is the biggest key to the Broncos starting off 1-0. Fifth and final key to the game, it is force Geno Smith to beat you. I believe Geno Smith is the worst starting quarterback for all 32 NFL teams this week 1. Okay? This Seahawks offense is going to be heavily limited by Geno Smith. He started 3 games last season for Seattle in place of Russell Wilson. He also came in halfway through week 6 when Russell Wilson went down. But in those 3 games, the stats I think are a bit deceiving. 702 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. You just look at that and you go, Geno was awesome last year, right? That's what you want to see. The playbook got cut in half. Geno Smith doesn't have a cannon of an arm. He cannot make certain throws. And as the defense learns this and as they get tape on him, they're just going to take away the few throws he can make and make life very difficult for the Seattle offense. Now, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are still 2 perennial wide receivers in the NFL. And last season, in those 3 games where Geno Smith started, Lockett suffered a lot more than DK Metcalf. Because Lockett's A game is his vertical ability, right? The way he can stretch the field with Russell Wilson's moonball. Now, Russell Wilson on the other sideline kind of makes you wonder, what can Lockett do for this Seahawks offense here? You're going to have Patrick Surtain on DK Metcalf most of the night. And then you're going to see a bit of a combination, I'm suspecting, on Tyler Lockett, but force Geno to beat you. Because their running back, Rashad Penny, former first-round pick out of San Diego State, had an awful start, to put it lightly, to his NFL career. But the way he ended last year looked like a first-round pick. 671 yards and 6 touchdowns. Pete Carroll was never a fan of letting Russ cook. He wants to run the football, okay? So with that in mind, do not let Rashad Penny beat you. That's the game plan for Seattle. I'll tell you that right now. The Seahawks are not rolling out the red carpet for Geno Smith to throw 60 passes and torch Denver through the air. Throw stunts. Throw different defensive blitz packages and different schemes and make life difficult for Geno Smith and this offense and force them to be one-dimensional. Hell, even drop Justin Simmons into the box a little bit, stack the box, put 8-7 guys in there and say, we are daring you to throw it and we know you cannot throw it. And if you want to run it, fine. There's nowhere to go. All right, guys, football is almost here. So if you are ready to watch the Broncos play this Monday night, I will miss Steve Levy on the call, but it's going to be a new broadcast on ESPN, so get ready for that. But hey, if you made it to the end of the video and you are ready for Broncos country to have some football back, give me a let's ride down below.